Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Champions Cup. This one, the Stormers at home, taking on the Sale Sharks. Now, as their table sits currently, Leinster and Leicester both at the top of the bunch. They are on 9 now. Leinster will actually be taking on Stade Francais at the same time as this game between the Stormers and Sale is taking place. To be honest, whoever wins this game has a very good chance still of promoting themselves right up to the top of the bunch. But whoever loses this game, it's still going to be a mountain to climb. You want to make sure you're in that top 4 if you make it to the round of 16. If you're in 5th, you still get a chance in the Challenge Cup. But every side here wants to be sure that they are right at the top of the bunch. Looking through at the Stormers starting lineup, it will be Setole, Andre, Hugo Fenta, and also Johan Nilling-Fouché as the front row. Andre Smith and Ruben van Heerden as the 4 and 5 combo. Dion Foree, Dixon, and Diamani as the loose forward trio. Yankees at number 9 with Mani Libok at 10. The man has been cool, calm, and collected the last couple of weeks, nailing some last-minute kicks, whether that's the game up against La Rochelle, whether that's up against the Bulls. He's been very good, Mani Libok, and he'll be hoping to follow it up here. Dan du Plessis in the midfield alongside Hudson-Berg, a man who we normally see out on the wing. No Ruan Nel for this game. And the Stormers camp, Lillian Zas out on the left wing, Skorsen out on the right, and Damien Valimza at 15 to close out what is considered a very strong Stormers starting lineup. They will want to make an impact early, try and put the Sale Sharks under pressure. Have to see whether or not it does work out. Ross Harrison, Augustine Crevi, and James Harper in the front row. It will be Hill at number 4 and Bamba as the number 5. Doug Dale, Ben Curry, and also Beaumont there as the number 8. Gus Wah at 9 with Robert Dupre at number 10. I'm sure he'll absolutely love playing in South Africa for this epic contest. Bedlow and James in the midfield. Willis, Reed, and also Vianu at number 15. So for the Sale Sharks side, of course, on paper, they don't quite look the same side as the Stormers, but that doesn't mean they won't play well. I still see this game being a little bit one-sided, even though the Sale Sharks, they've had some decent performances over the last little while. Just looking through at their previous 5 games, we have got Maminia in the chat as well, so I hope you are doing extremely well. Scrum Lass is here, and Dion in there also. So they were able to beat Stade Francais by quite a reasonable margin, 28 points to 5 in the last game of the Champions Cup. They were beaten by Leinster, but that game, they had their moments. They almost pulled off the upset, just not quite able to get the job done in the end. Premiership rugby, as you can see, you always get close games in the Premiership at the moment. Winning against Saracens by 2, losing to the leaders at the moment in the overall table, Northampton by 4, and then losing to the Bristol Bears by 8. Good mate, hope you are too, says Miminia. I'm doing extremely well. I am somehow wide awake, even though it is 6:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. For the Stormers, their recent games, they had the game up against Zebre. They were victorious. They actually had a rough start to their URC season, the Stormers, which is why they find themselves currently sitting in 7th. But they've got a lot of room that they can improve in terms of that table and also in terms of what they're doing out there on the field. And I feel like this game will be a good example of whether or not they can show that improvement. They were beaten by Leicester Tigers. They managed their 1-point victory. I mentioned about it. Mani Libok, the final kick, managing to get it over 21 points to 20. Close game up against the Bulls, winning at 26 points to 20. And then that one up against the Sharks. Mani Libok again, his kicking accuracy has been what has been drastically helping the Stormers in terms of some of the results they've been putting out this year. But they've had a lot of close games. The benefit of these last 3, they've been on the receiving end of the victory, whereas for the Sale Sharks, they've actually been on the end of defeat from those games. So I'm curious to see how it changes here for this contest. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are here for quite a few of the Champions Cup fixtures, as well as Super Rugby, the Six Nations, the Sevens is coming up. Also, the cricket for the South African Proteas is just around the corner as well. But the Sale Sharks, they will be kicking off at Cape Town from right to left. Robert Dupre is ready to go in what's going to be a very entertaining game. I can tell you that right now. We will not be disappointed with the amount of action that happens throughout this contest. That is a good way of jinxing a game of rugby, though. So hopefully I haven't just done that. But it's got potential of being the best game of the round. So hopefully it works out that way. But the Sale Sharks, they are in the light blue. The Stormers in their away or the alternative strip with the black. I think the referee's just sorting out some of their communications at the moment. Okay, he can hear all of his assistants. So we are now ready to go for this contest, ladies and gents. Like I mentioned, Robert Dupre ready to kick this one off. He may have thought he was never going to play in South Africa. But, of course, the URC, the Champions Cup, creates that opportunity. It's a long flight from up in England, but Sale Sharks, they'll be wanting to be fresh yet, and they'll want to make sure they are strong early. It's going to be kicked off now. Down to the 22, nicely taken by Damien Valimza. I think was almost tackled by his teammates in that case. Now, Herschel Yankees looks like he will be putting this ball up high. Hamish, I move from Cape Town to Mapo Malanga. Hopefully I said that correctly. And I'll stay as Stormers. And also, boom, let's go, Hamish. I made it home from work. Slogging set. Says a rifle. It is good to hear that your day is over for the work side of things. Oh, that bouncing nicely for Diamani, but they'll go back for the original penalty. And Hamish, do you think the Stormers will be disappointed to not have Ruanel today? Oh, no. In fact, it's actually a penalty going the way of the Stormers. My apologies. But, yeah, I think Ruanel's one of those players. You know he's going to give you a decent performance. So the fact that they don't have him, like, they will be disappointed, but I'm curious to see how Hudson-Berg goes in the midfield. I feel like that is something that maybe they could look at for the future. The problem that they've got at the moment is they've got too many centres and too many wingers in terms of being able to play them all. Like Ben Loader, it's almost a good thing for the Stormers selectors that he's injured, because or else then where do you put him in to this already stacked backline? Definitely with Marnie Libok and Valimza coming back. Now first line out, Andre Fenta. I don't understand these cheerleader outfits. Made those poor girls look like Ronald McDonald, says Scrumless. Although one of the only teams that I know of that has cheerleaders, the Stormers. I don't know whether that's something that the sponsors requested, because they've got the sponsored logos all over them, don't they? So I don't know if that was something that was part of a plan of some sort. Nice work in the breakdown. I think that was from Augustin Crevi, and he's actually managed to tie it up, keep it in there. And now it will be a scrum feed for the Sale Sharks. Now, the last game that we witnessed was the Bristol Bears taking on the Bulls. In that contest, the Bulls were so dominant. At scrum time, the Bears just couldn't get into it. They gave away 6 scrum penalties, including about 3 that were off their own feed. So this game's going to have to be different for the Sale Sharks. And okay, Ruth, the day got to me, or got to you, methinks, says a Miminia. And there, and come on, Sale Sharks, I'm in an underdog mood tonight, and they certainly are underdogs in this contest. But, like I mentioned, they've had some pretty decent performances as of late. They've had some close games. Already we've got a bit of an injury here by the looks of it. So, I think that is with Ben Bamber, is it? Is that who's injured? Who is that man? Oh no, it was Ross Harrison. Hello, girls. Scrumless Mania. As we have got there, I hope some of those cheerleaders identify as men for equality and diversity. I think they have got a couple male cheerleaders in the Stormers camp. The pack weight, 907 for the Sale Sharks and 898 for the Stormers. So actually the lighter pack, the Stormers. That doesn't happen too often. There are some big boys in the front row. And in the lock and jaw, Andre Smith, Ruben van Heerden, just to name 2. It's going to be a free kick to the Stormers. Okay, we might see a similar thing to what we saw in the last game. One side could be more dominant. That one, Ross Harrison. He's penalised. He's a strange-looking specimen. Looks like he's just touched an electric fence. That sounds quite mean, doesn't it? But it's true. He looks like he's just been zapped. Oof, says Miminia. And thanks, Cool, only hot chocolate. Hamish for his smooth commentary. Kiwi lads rock this game, says Ruth. Now another scrum feed, this time for the Stormers. They will have their own feed. It's going Going to be put in by Herschel Yankees. And the backline that they've got available, like I mentioned, you've got Marnie Libok, Damien Valimza, just to name two. Then you look through the midfield, Dan Duplessis and Hudsonberg, that speed, vision, big push there. Flattened out the Sale Sharks front row, but that is going to be now in the hands of Dan Duplessis. Gets to only 10 metres out from the line. So close to 44k subs. Congrats, the Kiwi lads. Says Scrumless, although we have gone down quite a bit since the World Cup, I will mention. We kind of go up and down a little bit, but yeah, a lot of people have been unsubscribing since the World Cup. So for us to hit 44 before 43 might be a challenge. And please can you show the game? Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube. The highlights will be on the Champions Cup YouTube channel, though, straight after the game is finished. So I do recommend checking that out because they will have all the Champions and Challenge Cup games, all the highlights, all going up on there. Now, line out here for the Stormers after a deep kick from Robert Dupre. And cheerleaders' outfits only distract the players, says Ruth. A good attack and run initially from Niling Foucher, but just stolen by Augustine Crevi. We've got the NZ Rugby Vids YouTube channel, says Grumless there. Now it is going to be the line out. Andre Hihufinta taken at the front nicely by Ruben van Heeren, who is yelling his head off at the moment, trying to get his teammates to drive towards the 15 metres out. It looks like it's still working not too badly. They were able to defend the last one, the Sale Sharks, although this one looks like it's got just that little bit more momentum, nicely controlled in there. And this one might be stuck. They'll try and rip it to ground. They've been told to use it. It's actually going to be Ben Curry who pops out with that ball for Sale. And it is just inside of their own 22, looks like. They thought about running it, but Gus Wah will be strategic. Give it off to the forwards, and I believe they will go for the kick downfield in the very near future to relieve that pressure. Although you wonder how long can you relieve it for. We've got to remember the Stormers are a side that when they score tries, they normally score about 5 of them. It's not it starting for Sale. Ex-student of mine says, Joss, not that I can see. I also don't think he's off the bench, unfortunately, in this game that I can see. But that's quite cool that an ex-student of yours is a Sale Sharks representative. So there is an injury here. No, sorry, it's a boot problem. Looks like he needs some tape. Sprigs have almost already come off his boot. Can be a safety hazard, I would think. But 6 minutes into this contest, at what has been a very fast start for both of these two sides. Won't be too long, I don't think, until we see a try scored. Scored a try against La Rochelle in round 2. They just showed for Andre Hihufinta. He's a brilliant option at hooker. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a rolling mill try here as well. If they have real pressure being forming for the Stormers, I think they will go for the corner more times than they go for the 3. They might take the 3 early on just to create those points. Because at the end of the day, this is a must-win for both of these sides if they want a chance at top in the table. Now, Herschel Yankees going across to the right-hand side. Good run forward from Dan Duplessis, who breaks through the tackle attempt of the Sale's defence. Now, Marnie Libok, little kick him high from Hudsonberg, sits up. But Gus Wah, no option but to run it into touch. He's got back to his feet. He's having a bit of a chat there with Skolson. Oh, don't effing do that. We have just heard through, I think it was a referee mic maybe. I think it was Gus Wah, so pretty much he did end up going into touch. Then from there, I think it was because Skolson tackled him when he was about 3 metres off the field that he took a little bit of offence to. And our flat ball, very flat, from Herschel Yankees, so flat you'd almost call it forward. But now Yankees gets it across again, nice offload coming Sitoli, charging forward 20 metres out from the line for the Stormers. Going to shift this one to the left. Beautiful inside ball from Mani Libok. Another offload for Diamani, who just breaks his way through and scores the try early on. That is the danger of the Stormers on attack. If they get any chance in the 22, and if they have Mani Libok at 10, you know you're going to be in for a long day at the office. But great work early on. Diamani scores the try. Beautiful, says Mimanea. Yeah, just those quick little tap-tap passes. Mani Libok, inside ball. Audrey Smith did well to be able to drive forward and also lure in the defence so that the gap was there. And those Sharkies are coming to play in a Storm. Boom, says Roof. And also Scrumless says Mimanea, and Hihi says Grumless. And that was well for the Rugby Monk. Diamani. He has been in fantastic form. In fact, even a game where he looked a little bit rough, he got man of the match. So I think he's definitely secured himself a spot in that loose forward trio. We hear someone yelling out, "Go Marnie," and he has just got it over. So 7-0 now to the Stormers after the 9 minutes. A great start to the match for them, but they have to keep this pressure going. You want to chase that bonus point in this Champions Cup competition. 4 tries will get you that. Already 1 down. 3 to go for the Stormers with plenty of time to work. So maybe once again a little bit of a boot problem there for one of the Stormers players. Not a good look for the sponsors, I would say. The fact that the boots are falling apart flat out. Stormers, I was going to say their coaches are looking happier than the Sale Sharks coaches, but that's a lie. They all look like they're very sad. Oh no, the pressure on the big man now. He is sweating profusely, trying to tie his shoelaces. That's kind of pressure you don't expect when you're out there on the field, but he's managed to do it. Andre Hugo Fenter gave a little rock-on symbol to the camera as well. Once he got those loops in the right place, he was on fire. Now kicking off high for the Sale Sharks. And not quite claimed by Hudsonberg. This time nicely claimed by Sale, who will now look for the counter chance after just conceding. Running forward was Josh Beaumont. Oh, knee to the face of Vainu there by his teammate of all people, Ben Curry. Nice attack and run, but he is taken down by Herschel Yankees. Log better have his spectacles and fishnets on tonight for kicking. Says Roof, well, he's currently 1 from 1, so he started well. Turnover on the breakdown for Audrey Smith. And now they will go across to the left-hand side here. The Stormers, Damien Williams, a man with him, and Lelion Zas. He's gone for the kick in behind, but does not quite sit up the way that he needed it to. Tell you what, my voice has been struggling so far, which is not good. Well, we've only done 1 live stream, but seems like the vocal cords are still a little bit asleep. Unlike myself, currently 6:44 a.m. here in New Zealand, so I hope you guys are all doing extremely well. Any Kiwis who are tuning in, and of course, all our South African viewers, it is greatly appreciated you guys popping in for this 7:44 p.m. game, I believe it is currently for you all. Augustine Crevi getting the line out right. Nice flat pass off to Doug Dale. Now Gaswa will be rolling this one back, and looks like they will once again go for the box kick. Now that is a good tactic if it works. But unfortunately, up against a side like the Stormers, they have so many dangerous running options from the back. Whether that's Damien Valimza, whether that's Lelian Zas, who's just beautifully taken that ball, and he's actually been taken out in the air by Robert Dupre, so that will be the penalty for the home side. Quite a soft penalty to be given away. In fact, it might have been Aaron Reid who has been penalised for taking the player out in the air. Sharknets, Roof Sharknets, says Mimanea. Now Mani Libok gets it into touch. About maybe 35 metres out. Just half a touch there from Reid on the leg. Got the laughing face there from Roof as well, but nicely taken at the front by Audrey Smith, who's already been extremely busy throughout this game. Flat pass from Mani Libok really set up Dan Duplessis for failure. Libok with the cross kick across the Diamani, knocks it on. Don't think he was expecting as much of a chance at that ball as he had, but they have got the advantage now. Vianu. Side of the 22, they'll go back for the scrum. Now, we've only had 1 scrum so far throughout this contest. In fact, that might be a lie. I think we may have had 2 now, but 1 scrum feed for Sale in this contest. They did end up giving away the free kick for early engagement from Ross Harrison. Yeah, Diamani, no matter where that man is on the field, he's just danger out there. He's been able to already score the first try of the match for the Stormers. Stands out like a sore thumb with that blonde haircut. There, try. Says Ruth in there as well. So far possession in this game, the Stormers sitting 56%. The territory also heavily in their favour, 75%. They continue the way that they are going here, they could find themselves with quite a handy lead heading into the second half. 3 tries away from the bonus point, though. That will be the main thing that they are concentrated on. Now, Gassoir tries to put the ball in. It's actually not gone the way that he would have liked, so they have to hook it back again. It's nicely claimed at the back by Sale Sharks, but only just for the Stormers to not get that ball. And Gershel Yankees was yelling, trying to convince the referee it should have been a penalty. The ref tells him to shush. Now again, it's in the hands of Sale Sharks. And once more, they will put the ball into the sky. Unfortunately, they haven't really been able to unleash this backline as of yet. Dion Forey getting over the ball. He's offside. Ref said no. So Dion Forey took that as go on then grab the ball. So he has been penalised for offside. And ref feed is delayed, says Mimania there. A kick towards the touchline. I say towards the touchline because it has not found touch. And now fire back from Damien Valenza. Sale Sharks losing a lot of metres in the process there. Going to be about halfway now for the Sale Sharks rather than being inside of the 22. You see there Johnny Hill. I think they're trying to say that maybe Damien Valenza was outside of his 22 when he kicked that one, but foot on the line is fine, I believe, in the rulebook. So completely fine there, Damien Valenza, and a good kick downfield. Get it back into the half of the Sale Sharks. Nicely claimed by Hill. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Straight away, I just heard the commentator say Bamba, so I assume they saw the 5. Johnny Hill and Bamba have actually swapped, though. Bamba is now 4, I believe, and Hill is 5. Now back across to the left-hand side, Herschel Yankees. Gets it away to Ruben van Heeren. Now back into the pocket, Marnie Libok with the bomb. Up and under. Chasing after this is Scorson, but it's knocked back onto the side of the Sale Sharks. They're waiting for that ball. Every breakdown opportunity they have, the Stormers really trying to take it. Back into the pocket again. Robert Dupre. And it's not quite taken cleanly. Ruben van Heeren, the man who has been able to clean it up. Now Yankees back to Manny Libok. It's a little bit similar to what we saw just before. And it's kicked out on the full by Libok there. A little bit of push and shove there. I think that's because Gassoir made the tackle. Libok took a little bit of offence to it. Thought that it was late. I think it was more Gassoir just ended up making the tackle and then maybe the frustration from Manny Libok. Nah, that's all right. I wouldn't call that late. He just holds him. If he pushes him down, no, he didn't really push him down. I think Manny Libok, he just waited until that ball went into touch, then was frustrated. And come on, Sharkies. Says it was there from Roof. They've gone over the top. Miscommunication at line-out time for the Sale Sharks. And the Stormers back in position now on the halfway line. Going short side to Diamani. You know that man's making at least a couple metres. Now back to the right. Big run from Andre Hugo Fenta. Stolen in the breakdown, but very similar to what we saw for the last penalty against the on-footy. Sam Dugdale going in there from an offside position and does end up getting penalised. Look at there, referee responding to the first try. Says Mimania. Currently already 16 minutes through. This game is flying by. Compared to the last game between Bristol and the Bulls, I think the big difference is we're seeing a lot more running rugby in this game. Great kick from Manny Libok. A little bit unlucky that it wasn't closer to the corner there, but they are about 12 metres out from the line and a great line-out opportunity for the home side here. But yeah, that game between the Bulls and Bristol Bears, I think it was all the lineouts and the scrums that were really styling the game. Mainly the scrums. We probably had about 10 scrums throughout. Now another line out here for the Stormers. Andre Hijufinta gets it right. Now good attack and run from Manny Libok. Look for the offload. Miscommunication there. And because of it, the Sale Sharks now charging forward. Damien Valimza manages to get the offload away on the inside. It's really loose at the moment. Herschel Yankee's extremely close to the touchline, but Diamani somehow pops up with it. Ball still there available for Yankees. Johanni Fouché, Mani Libok. Pressure on him. Gets it away to Damien Valimza, who's wrestled down twice in the breakdown by Josh Beaumont. Our Herschel Yankees. Commentators have just said they need to try and find a bit of their shape. They have lost that ball. And it looks like it's just really loose from both sides. Mani Libok puts the up and under up for the sake of trying to find some sort of stability. It will be the knock on from the Sharks. And now the scrum feed for the Stormers. So that's probably the ideal scenario for them there. Because of all the loose ball, player with his finger in his eye, I think he's trying to adjust the context. And almost frustratingly unorthodox, says Mimania. And Ufia really loose. Yeah, both sides just looking really strange, I think is the best way to describe that. Just not really any structure. Oh, we got our drinks break. I also saw Ben Curry in the background holding down Herschel Yankees though, so feel like he can't let frustration get the better of him, because at the end of the day, like, he's a big man and he's tried to pick on the two smallest players on the field for the Stormers. So, I mean, Dion Foree, he'll see that. Ruben Fanier and some of these big boys will probably come in, try and protect their halfback a little bit in the near future once they see it. But yeah, that 18 and a half minutes has flown by. Got the drinks break currently, but the players just about to get back underway. There are 2 more games taking place in the Champions Cup I should mention later on today as well, ladies and gents. Game taking place between Toulouse and Ulster. I was actually hoping to cover that game, but something outside of streaming has come up, so it means that I will be missing that one. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a bit more of the Champions Cup in the near future, whether that is a game tomorrow morning or whether that is going to be perhaps the the Champions Cup next week. There are quite a few games taking place, including, but not limited to, for the Stormers. They've got a game around the corner up against Stade Francais, which they will definitely want to walk away with the victory. And then, alongside that, Sale, they've got the game up against La Rochelle. That is a 2 a.m. Monday morning game for them. And yeah, same thing. They'll want to try and walk away with that victory, because this table in Pool 4, pretty close. 2 teams on 9, 2 teams on 4, and then the 2 sides down the bottom. Surprisingly, the defending champs, La Rochelle, in a very tough group. That is a brilliant push there from the Stormers at scrum time, and they will get themselves another penalty there. The South African sides are tearing the English teams to shreds when it comes to their rolling mauls, and also when it comes to their scrums. Like, those 2 elements of their games have been fantastic. And now Mani Libok, rather than going for the 3 points from the halfway line, here see we are kicking for the corner. And we will have another crack, and that is a great kick from Mani Libok. We have got there, Tom Curry needs a hiding, says Herman. No, this one, it's actually Ben Curry, his twin brother. So, maybe both Currys, some would say. Oh, yeah, I've got there, big scrum, nice, says Mimania. But now, Nedeling Fouché, walking up slowly. They have their plan in play, about 7 metres out from the line. Andre Hijufinta again. Yeah, exactly, no scrum, no beer. Says, cool story, bro. Nicely claimed by Ruben van Geeren. And this rolling maul has got about 6 or 7 men committed. So I would be extremely surprised if the Stormers... No, it's gone down, in fact. I was about to say I'd be extremely surprised if they weren't able to get this one to the try line, but it has been taken down. No hands allowed on the ball, they say. Now, it's Going to be Diamani. He's already scored 1 try. There was no clear release there, so the advantage will be against. Who was that? Who was that? I don't actually know who that was. Who went for that turnover. I think it might actually be a sub for the Sale Sharks. Okay, no clear release. There's a TMO check here for foul play. This might be Audrey Smith for the way he charged in and did the clean out. Now, the player did have his hands on the ball illegally on the ground for Sale Sharks, but I think what Audrey Smith did might get him in a little bit more trouble than that. So we'll just go upstairs to check this one. No, in fact, we're checking something else. What are we checking here? So we're checking, he had his hands on it. Then Audrey Smith, okay, that's the wrong breakdown, I would say. No Maul, no Joel. Says good story, bro. Here we go. Oh. Okay, that's not that bad, to be honest. It's a shoulder onto the body, but it's going to be a reverse penalty. It shouldn't be anything more than that, which is good news. But Audrey Smith, they'll be disappointed because they were 5 metres out from the line. Charge on the body from the player on the ground. Okay, so the penalty will go to the Sale Sharks just out from their own try line, and that is coming at a crucial time because anytime the Stormers are inside of the 22, I mentioned it earlier on with that Diamani try, you cannot give them a chance because they will just score. They just have that ability. It's surprising with where they're sitting in the URC table, sitting in 7th, but they did get off to a pretty rough start in their URC season. Mani Libok, Damien Willems are 2 players who have certainly turned that around since returning from a successful Rugby World Cup campaign. But now the throw for Augustine Crevi, 4 penalties against Sale, only the 2 against the Stormers, so their discipline has been a lot better than some of the past games that we have seen from them. Now, Sale Sharks doing nicely with this rolling ball. Ben Curry having a bit of a wrestle there with Andre Hugafenta. The ball's available, they say. It is at the back of the rolling ball. Gus Wah gets it across now. Robert Dupree charged down. And this will be the try for the Stormers. Well, that's rather unfortunate for the Sale Sharks, isn't it? You finally get the ball back. And that's actually when the Stormers score. It's going to be Hudsonberg, the man who has scored it. And right time says Mimania. But yeah, little mistake from Sale Sharks. Robert Dupree, for some reason they were trying to hide him behind Sam Bedlow. There was one too many passes there. They went for the cross kick. Hudsonberg was sitting there saying, give me that ball. And he manages to score it. Yeah, beautifully done by Hudsonberg. And he has been looking very good at number 13. We talked about the blessing and the curse that the Stormers have with the amount of talent that they have in their backline, that they have to try and select just the players allowed. But yeah, no Ruan now here. Hudsonberg comes in, does very well. Another try that's going to be scored soon. Says Ruben Mastream is a minute behind, but I don't care, goes Stormers. Says a scrum last there, but now Mani Libok to line up this kick. Goes Suleiman. Says it was there from Mimania. Mani Libok, he's 1 from 1. Was a nice easy kick, his last one, straight out in front of the posts. This one's probably about 25 on the angle. Still very doable for a man of Mani Libok's caliber. She's come round beautifully. And that is now going to make the score after 24 minutes. 14-0 for the Stormers. You talk about a great start in the contest. Stormers have done just that. They are halfway to their bonus point, which will be the minimum that they want from this game. They'll also want to increase that points differential. I mentioned about how close this group could end up being. Points differential currently sitting -8. Oh, beautifully taken by the try scorer Hudsonberg. Really trying to cement himself as an outside centre option because they have got plenty. Now Yankees looking to go off to the short side here by the looks of it. In fact, he is actually going to go with a couple more phases first. That was a big yawn, wasn't it? Only 7 a.m. we have just ticked over to here in New Zealand. Now Yankees puts it high, chased by Skorson, but cleanly taken by Vienu. Now Ben Curry. Hit hard in the tackle by Andre Hijo Fenta. That's the thing. When you start to pick on the smaller players in a side, when you have the ball in hand, the big players of the opposition, they're going to smash you. And that is what Ben Curry is finding out. My commentary keeps freezing. Bad signal here. Says Roof, and also we look at their Stormers seem to have wings tonight. And also, are you on LTE or something, Roof? Says Miminier. Now another box kick here for Gus Wara on the halfway line. Just outside of the 22-metre line of the Stormers, taking the player out in the air from Ben Curry, although they do say that there was a foot down, and the turnover is good for the Sale Sharks. As Roof got psychic powers. Says Hillary there. Now Gus Wara off to the right. Beaumont taken down well. The Stormers' defence does not often concede multiple tries, and when they do, it's normally something's going drastically wrong. We look at their Stormers supporter watching it from Galdini Spa. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Welcome in, Samuel. Hope you're doing extremely well. You will be, of course, loving the scoreline, 14-0. At the moment, cross kick, and it's worked nicely, but they haven't quite got the speed required, although a nice hard run from Willis out on the wing. Now on the midfield, Augustine Crevy. He was crawling for a little bit there, but wasn't held, so was allowed to. Gus Wara puts the ball in behind. Johnny Hill running hard, and he will go all the way and score the try for Sale. You may not be liking the score as much now, Samuel, but it was a good try. So I think Damien Valimza was just caught in the line. Wasn't able to catch up. They've put Ben Bumba up on the screen, but ladies and gentlemen, his name is not Ben Bumba. That is Johnny Hill. I think they had a little bit of a late change. I wonder if any of the commentators will realise. I'm waiting to hear them say. Commentators haven't said. They're going to say it's Johnny Hill. It is Johnny Hill. They've got it now. I've realised that it is not Ben Bumba. And yeah, my grandma has a white, or was a white witch. I know things I see things, says Rupert. That kick is over from Sale. So that will now make the score 14 points to 7. And nah, says Scrumless. And it there as well. But nicely done by Robert Dupre. Making this game a little bit closer. I actually do believe you, Roof, says Miminier. I just made coffee and peanut butter sandwich. Cheers, says Ruth. Okay. Interesting. I have a question. This might sound really weird. I don't do this personally, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think anyone does, but I want to find out. You know how people like dip toast in soup? Or bread in soup? Does anyone ever dip like a sandwich in a coffee? I haven't. Like I said, I haven't done this. But is that a thing? I can't imagine it would be that good, but I don't imagine it wouldn't, like, I don't know, would it be good? Anyway, kicked off now by the Stormers, and they have retained their own kickoff. Now Damien Valimza goes to Mani Libok, kicked him behind for Lalian Sassis, just a little bit too far out in front of him. Messy job, in my opinion, says Mimina. Yeah, I imagine it'd be quite moist. There's a little witch in everyone, practical magic. 10 out of 10 says Scrumless. Yeah, decent kick from Mani Libok in behind it. Just didn't quite sit up the way that Lilian Zas needed it to. He tried to get that grubber in behind off his left boot. It looks like there might be some sort of injury here for the Sale Sharks out there in the middle of the field. Now, I don't know if this is a serious one. Plain bread and coffee is a South African cuisine. Is it? Well, there we go. So, what type of bread? Like, is in like just a loaf of bread, or is it like a harder bread that you dip it in? Because like people put biscuits in like coffee or like hot chocolate. So I guess it just depends on what consistently, like a harder bread would probably be quite good, so that it doesn't completely sog, but it also, you know, soaks up a little bit. And thanks, I'm tuned in right now. Baked bread and black coffee. Oh, okay. Might be all right. Might have to try it. Hope dreams that come true, says Ruth. I want to try boba tea. It looks good, says Grumless. I feel like boba tea's a safety hazard. You know, no normal sliced white bread. Well, there you go. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that never tried, so would not know whether it's any good. But yeah, boba tea, I feel like if I was to ever try, I'd suck up one of those little balls. Anyone who's just tuning in now, we were talking about a type of tea, nothing else. But yeah, I feel like I'd just not be able to handle the fact that there are hard things in a drink. It's a free kick awarded to the Sale Sharks here. We had a bit of a stoppage with the injury, but now Robert Dupree, not boba tea. It's a, boba Thai. Sorry. It's a South African meat dish. Well, there should be hard things in that then, theoretically. I don't think the bread is stale or not be, but I've seen someone do it. Says Hillary. And a rusk, we call it a biscuit dip in coffee. Says Ron. And dry bread, and black coffee, no milk or sugar, anyone? So is it plain bread or do you put like butter on the bread? I'm curious now. I feel like we've found a whole new situation. Gaswa. Going to be putting this ball high. Ruben van Heeren tries to charge down. And it's a knock-on. Big knock-on from Damien Willemse. Or is it? Oh, Gaswa's just eaten the ball. You're not allowed to do that, mate. Hit him straight in the face off Diamani's boot. So that wouldn't have been going slow. I think Barbor Thai. I said that terribly, didn't I? And goes Stormers goes, says Julian. And also we've got the morning roof. Says David, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well and butter is optional. Says Yako there. Now, ball's loose. Available for the Stormers. Nice sling and pass. Out to Mani Libok, who puts it high. It's going to be contestable. Who let that bounce? That is normally the last thing that you want to do, although it's set back up for the Sale Sharks. So in the end, I've actually ended up better in that scenario. And the kick in behind's looking like a 50-22. No, it goes out just outside. Sounds we're dishing out food while the Stormers eating shark meat, says Samuel. Aaron's just looking and sounding wonderful. I missed you guys, says Ruth. And I should mention you're going to be seeing a lot more of us over the next few weeks. We've got the Champions Cup next weekend. The weekend after that, we've got the Sevens. Also a little bit of rugby pre-season, I believe, will be taking place. And a whole heap of cricket as well. South Africa, New Zealand coming up around the corner. We've got West Indies versus Australia test match. That will be what we're doing throughout this week. How tall are you? I think I'm 179 or something like that, 180. So I think that's like 5'10", maybe. Something like that, yeah. Not the tallest, but not the shortest. See the big run from Diamani. He is a big man with an electric step. And he found the pass. No, he didn't. I feel bad for the bloke because he did all the hard work. Referees in the way. But Diamani, he should have unselfishly, he's won the penalty for a side, or at least the Stormers have won it, for Andre Higofentu. But what a run by Diamani there. Almost scoring a try. He decided to pass it though. The fact that he didn't get selfish actually hurt him. There's so many players, definitely forward players, that if they were in that scenario, I don't know if Vienu was going to be able to stop him. Where to watch the game tall, says Sea of the Stars. So the best place to be able to watch it, I believe, in South Africa is DSTV. But the Champions Cup YouTube channel will have the highlights of this game pretty much straight after, alongside every other game that has taken place in the Champions and Challenge Cup. So that is probably your best bet of being able to see it. So I would highly recommend that as your option. Nicely claimed by the Stormers, 5 metres out from the line now. They decided to opt for the corner rather than going for the 3 points. Looks like it's going to be shut down just for now by the Sale Sharks, but mainly because they did go in through the side. Now back across, Dan Duplessis, flat ball from Mani Libok, and Lillian Zas scores it between the sticks. Try number 3 for the Stormers, 1 to go. We have Gadares in that rugby versus cricket match next week. Hamish, I think so. I think it's next. Is it next Saturday? I think it will be taking place, and good height to not have back problems and be able to look above the fridge. Says cool story, bro. And Trotine says Mimania and peanuts and peanut butter is a luxury now, nearly 40 rand a jar. Says Roof. And what a Diamani run. Yeah, it all came from that massive run of Diamani. Yes, the Sale Sharks were able to shut it down the first time, but they could not stop it the second. Now, Lining up this kick, Marnie Libok. Should be a nice simple one. Straight out in front of the post. He's already sitting 2 from 2 today. What's on the fridge? Cool story, bro. The cheese. Do you keep cheese on the top of your fridge roof? And Provincial Lekker Ding, says Yako. 44 points in his Champions Cup career. Of course, only just on the start of his Champions Cup career, with them recently getting added in. And peanut butter no more, the poor man's food, says Miminea. I feel like that's like most food now, isn't it? It's just slowly going up and up. I was telling you guys a while ago about watermelon, how they were like $50 here in New Zealand. So that was quite sad, because I like watermelon, but I don't like paying $50 for one. Beautiful try, Sharkies, now you're biting, says Ruth. Now kicking this one up high, nicely taken by Damien Valimza. He's hit hard by James Harper. Now Yankees. I'm back across to the right-hand side. Johan Nidling Fouché, driven down to the ground. I'm getting over, oh brother, my lungs feel like they're made out of paper mache and filled with cat litter, says Scrumlass. Now ball's put high from Yankees again. Contestable and knocked back by the Stormers, so they retain that ball. Now Mani Libok across to Damien Valimza. 2 great steps from him. And now looks for the 50-22. And it's curling. It's curling, and he's got it. The Stormers are just, I'm going to say it, they're bullying the Sale Sharks here. Anytime they get that space, whether it's Diamani charging forward, or whether it's Damien Valimza showing off some of that stepping prowess, as well as a perfectly placed kick. Like old work files on the top of my fridge, and a dead scale, Stormers forever, says Andre there. And now 4 minutes remaining. A chance for the bonus point already for the Stormers, if they are able to get this one and turn it into a try. They have got a points differential going into this game of -8. Now, at the moment, the way that this sits, their points differential is +6. 5 test caps for England. For Ben Curry, they are just shy. I'm wondering whether or not he will be in the Six Nations squad that is just around the corner. They've got a lot of changes that they do have to make. We have got there, you might see things, but you can't change the future, says Miminea. And also, how do you feel towards South Africans after the World Cup? No different to before the World Cup, to be honest. Like, we've covered so much South African rugby, and we've got such a, I guess, proud and strong South African fan base. In terms of our percentages, I think it's about our 2nd or 3rd biggest audience. So, like, at the end of the day, we've called a lot of South African rugby. We've seen those guys who won the World Cup, some of them grow. We've watched Marnie Libok go through his kicking faults as well as his kicking where he's thrived. So, it was quite nice seeing them dig deep in multiple games. And I know that some people would be like, oh, where's your Kiwi spirit? Because, you know, I'm from New Zealand, and of course I should be disappointed. But because we've called so many games impartially, I'm pretty much in the middle, no matter what. Which is probably not the answer you wanted. You probably wanted me to say, oh, South Africans, but nah. We've got so many regular South Africans who pop in on the channel, so it makes it hard to be mad at them. So are peanuts a problem in South Africa like eggs are in Russia? Says, cool story, bro. And great sense of humour. I'm the one-woman stand-up comedian. I have them rolling in the aisles. Cape Town most probably has more All Black supporters than New Zealand, says Yako there. Yeah, I've heard that they've got quite a strong contingent there in Cape Town. Yako Hamish is pretty much a level-headed person. I like that you have pretty much. Rather than level-headed, you had to have that pretty much, just so that you're a little bit not quite right. Now 3 minutes remaining in this half. The Stormers didn't get that line out right. And now the Sharks have gotten themselves a scrum feed. Ball is successfully put in. Now Gaswa gets it back. Cross kick attempted. It's kind of taken a deflection. Beautiful pick up though. Vianu is through. And the Sale Sharks, he should have just passed that one. But it's going to be in behind. Damien Valimza is going to... Oh, he's kicked it dead. That's a 5-metre scrum. Yeah, it is. 5-metre scrum. I still feel like Vianu, if he had just passed that one out wide, could have been a lot better. Plenty of South African Kiwi Lads fans says Arthur. And yes, Yako Cape Town rocks for the All Blacks. It's their home away from home, says Ruth. Vianu was where he needed to be, put it in behind. They weren't winning the foot race up against Damian Valimza, but he did look over his shoulder, realised that there were 2 men on him, and said, no thank you, we will put that ball into the dead ball area. Now scrum, this is one that they need to get right though for the Sale Sharks. We've got to remember scrums have been a little bit shaky throughout this match so far for Sale. Let's go Sale, says Bupa. And then you go scrum, that sounds good, says Roof. And I should mention both of these sides have got the potential of getting themselves a bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries in this contest. Yes, it's more likely for the Stormers, seeing as they already have 3. But if Sale get themselves 1 now, there's a chance that it gets a little bit closer by halftime. But Gus Wah will be the man who feeds this ball in. Right on the stroke of halftime. And, I thought the ref was going to give the penalty to the Stormers, who is Sale's head coach. I believe it's, what's his name? Alex Sanderson, I think. I could be wrong, though, but I think it's Alex Sanderson. Close to the try line. 2 metres out. Augustine Crevi having the carry there close to the line. Johnny Hill scored 1 try. They're okay, I was going to say they're up very quickly there for the Stormers, and they have actually been penalised for the offside there. Now around the side, Augustine Crevi, did he knock that on? He's dove over the line. He's scored it, but was there a knock on in the initial movement of trying to grab that ball? They may just check this one again. The only 7 points in it, Sharkies. Let's go. Boom, says Roof, and Augustine Crevi with the try. Says Bupa, I think you saw it before me. In that case, you must be on that speedy Wi-Fi. But Augustine Crevi, the referee was trying to say he held him up. He didn't. I think, it's not going to go far enough back for that Augustine Crevi. Possible little juggle. And Julian has got the surprise faces, but I mentioned about it as well. With the fact that they have now scored, both of these sides have a chance of getting that bonus point in the second half. Oh, captain, what's happening now? Okay, the referee was getting angry at the captain, but there was no captain around. I wonder whether or not that's to do with something to do with the players yelling, perhaps. Does seem to be something that we're seeing quite a bit of recently. Robert Duprea now to line up this kick. Like I mentioned, a very crucial one, because that would make the difference in points only 7 going into the second half. Although, of course, that last game between between the Bulls and the Bristol Bears shows that halftime means nothing. It was 10 points to 7 in favour of the Bulls. They then won by about 14 points. That's a great kick from Duprea. Keeps it flat, keeps it low, and at halftime in this contest it will be 21 points to 14. It's exciting stuff from Hamish, says Ruth. Yeah, very impressive game. I just saw Ernest van Ren on the sideline. Of course, he is going to be playing for the Sale Sharks rather than playing for the Stormers, his old side, but he isn't playing in this game, I should mention, at Cape Town. But 7 points different. Should Super Rugby include 4 Japanese teams? I mean, it's been talked about quite a bit. If you're looking for a way of, I guess, making more revenue for the competition, it could be a good idea. But then you also have to ask yourself, are the Japanese teams as strong as they are because of the international players that they've got? And does Super Rugby have that budget to be able to continue bringing in those big players like we see in Japan? Because it's all well and good letting the Japanese sides have huge budgets, but then would that end up slightly, maybe unevening the competition? Does that make sense? I feel like that's a weird way of wording it, and something that I only thought of I think it was last week, in terms of it would be cool having the Japanese teams, but financially would it make sense? Yes, they'll make revenue off those sides, but will those sides force New Zealand and Australian teams to spend a lot more money to try and match what they're doing? What's your final score here, Hamish? In fact, just a little note, New Zealand sides, I think 2 of them are going to be playing Japanese sides in the near future. I think that's part of rugby pre-season for Super Rugby. So it will actually be quite interesting to see how the sides match up, including those international Japanese players and the New Zealand Super Rugby sides. So it could be quite cool. see what type of match we can have. What's your final score here, Hamish? Says Roof. I would say final score, I went the Stormers by... Did I say the Stormers by 15? I don't think I did. I think I said the Bulls by 15. I honestly think Stormers by about maybe, I want to say 19 might be a good shout. Could be a lot closer though. If Sale Sharks score the first try in the second half, we could be all on for young and old. Reckon there, Sups Up. And Amelia, is that you? It certainly is, Katie. Welcome back, Amelia. Hope you are keeping well. Nice early morning start, of course, for yourself, since you were here for the last stream as well. We will get some stats to do with this game, ladies and gentlemen. There are a few that we have got. We'll go like this. And I like that. There we go. So, I can tell you right now, the points are here. 3 tries for the Stormers, 2 tries for the Sale Sharks, and no one has missed a conversion as of yet. Now, on attack, we've seen 100 metres made by the Sale Sharks compared to the 148 metres made by the Stormers. So that extra 48 that we have seen for the DHL Stormers, that man is very loud in my ears, whoever he is. I think he is a motorcycle man that we have got during the break. A few of the other stats, clean breaks, we have seen 5 from the Sale Sharks compared to the 3 that we have seen, 5 of the Stormers compared to the 3 of the Sale Sharks. This is a stat that's absolutely massive. 17 defenders beaten for the Stormers, 4 for the Sale Sharks. But the scoreboard, because of that last try that the Sale Sharks were able to get for themselves, it doesn't look like they should be as close as they are in terms of some of the stats that we've got here. Territory, 57% in favour of the Stormers. They have also had the possession in their favour. Stuttering performance so far from Amish's mum's favourite team. Says Grant. Welcome in, Grant. Hope you are doing well. And also, can you believe about a year ago I started making YouTube videos? Time flies. Like, I can't believe that it's already been like 3 months since the World Cup, if not almost 4. No, it's almost 3. See how quick time goes. And when I get to see, I'll go see Rocky Horror, I'm thinking about dressing up as Eddie from the show. Says Amelia. Oh, here goes the Stormers on a roll. Says Ruth. There as well, the tackling stats. We're seeing 45 tackles made by the Stormers. They are actually sitting at a 92% tackle completion rate. And that is quite a drastic difference compared to the Sale Sharks. They have made 38 tackles, which is good. But they have only made 69% of their tackles that they have attempted. So they are almost an extra 23 or so % down, which is massive. GTA 5 is 11 years old this year, says Cool Story Road, which is crazy, isn't it? When you think about it. Okay, Roof, and that foresight feels better, says Miminia. Should mention that we have seen 11 lineouts won with a lineout success of 100% for the Stormers. Scrums, they have won 100% as well with just the 2. We actually saw 5 scrums won in total for the half. And Eddie costume is very emo, and I like his costume, says Amelia. And on a Gatsby roll, says Grant. And there as well, what else have we got? Kicking stats. Kicks from hand, we've actually seen 15 from the Stormers, 14 from Sale Sharks, but actually more kicking meters for the Sale Sharks, but that may have just been because they were deeper in their own half, so trying to get that little bit more distance on it when required. And then the discipline. 5 penalties against Sale Sharks, 2 against the Stormers, which is probably one of their best half in terms of discipline that we have actually seen. Normally they are a side that can stray a little bit in the penalty department. We've seen 3 tries so far for the Stormers, 1 scored by Lillian Zuss, 1 scored by Hudsonberg, and 1 scored by Diamani, who was extremely close to being able to get a second try, but he was unselfish. He decided to go for the pass across, and it didn't quite end up working for the Sale Sharks. We saw Augustine Crevi score right at the end, and also Johnny Hill scored earlier on in the half. Grant, is Annabelle or very kinky, says Miminia. Opinion still of Vienna Gatsby, says Iako in there as well. But the second half, I would say we're probably about 7 minutes away somewhere around there. It's normally a little bit of a longer half in the Champions Cup. They try and get quite a few ads in while the break is happening. Steak. Oh, steak or Vienna Gatsby. What is Gatsby? Or what is Vienna Gatsby? I don't think I know what that is, unfortunately. So I'll probably pick the steak, to be honest. Oh, I have chicken in the fridge. It's not cooked. I'll have to cook it, but that has just reminded me. I got some chicken kebabs. I think they're like rosemary and garlic, and those things sound good. So I'm very excited to eat them. Steak for the alcohol consumption. And always steak, says Grant. And there as well, yeah, it seems to be quite popular. Unless you're a vegan, then it's probably not so popular. But, yeah, good steak goes a long way. I thought I just saw the motorcyclist. I thought he had a little pea cup, but it was just like some sort of fluid for the brakes, I think. A masala steak Gatsby. And also the Stormers win, says Happy Face Man. And yeah, at the moment they are sitting very good. They do need one more try, though, to be able to walk away with the bonus. We have there, what about bricks? Are we the best rugby team in bricks? Says Good Story, bro. I have no idea what you're talking about, Good Story, bro. Stormers win by 15 points. Says Happy Face Man. If you're a vegan, then you're not popular. Says Grant, although also we should mention, if we have got any vegans watching, it is your choice at the end of the day. No one can shove meat in your mouth. Second half, just around the corner from taking place, ladies and gents. And I think it's going to be similar to the first half. How we see the Stormers start better, although Sale Sharks might now feel that they've got a little bit of momentum because they were able to get themselves that try late in the half. Same, and a Gatsby is almost like a Subway sub, just way, way better. And bring on the Crusaders of New Zealand. Says Happy Face Man. And of course, Crusaders versus Munster is a game around the corner. Crusaders also going to be taking on the Bristol Bears as one of their other pre-season games for Super Rugby. I'll be very interested to see what sides actually get put out there. Because, of course, the Crusaders, they're going to look extremely different to what we are used to seeing. No Richie Mo'unga, no Lester Whainanoku. A lot of the New Zealand sides, in fact, going to be missing. I love the fact you've never looked up what bricks is. I'm just going to leave it a mystery. Says Cool Story, bro. Well, I once looked up something that someone said, and then it was pretty dodgy. But I don't think bricks is. I think bricks, is it a brand of shoes? I don't think it is. I know we've got something similar to bricks. I think I'm thinking of Essex, actually. That's quite different. The Gatsby roll is 5 times better than a Subway roll. Says Mimania. I think the only place we can actually get sandwiches is Subway here. Like as in like a sub type thing. That I can think of anyway. Small town problems. We don't even have a Subway. We've got to travel 30 minutes to get to a Subway. Our second half. Just around the corner, ladies and gents. There are still 2 more games that are taking place tonight. Sadly, we will not be covering them on the channel though. But one of those games is Toulouse versus Munster. Toulouse versus Ulster could actually end up being a very entertaining one. Now, I should mention, we have been talking about it a little bit earlier on, the UFC next week, ladies and gents. Sean Strickland, Dracus du Plessis. Now, we asked the question earlier on, if you fellas from South Africa and ladies from South Africa, do you want to see a UFC watch-along for Dracus's fight? Because I know he's a very popular man. And I know we've got quite a strong South African following. So is that something you guys want to see? Do let me know. Have check the Discord to see what a Gatsby looks like. I posted one there. Says Grant. You didn't even say please, Grant. Just brutal. Boom. Straight into it. But I am checking. One more. Did you? Are you sure? Which Discord was it? Grant. And also, we look at their team Still Knox, baby. And yes, please, says Leanne. And you got to cover the Super League? I don't think so at this stage. Unfortunately, there are a few competitions that we've looked at covering, but it's just whether or not we can cover them consistently enough. Unfortunately. We look at the I suppose it's like brand, says Cool Story Bro. And same type of bread, just way wider and longer and a lot of fillings. Different types of fillings. I think I've seen what they look like before. They're kind of more like a a French stick, as we call it over here. And they're kind of a lot more, like you said, a little bit wider, and also the bread's a little bit more, like kind of not toasted on top, but it's kind of got the pattern on top. And Drinkers for the win, says Yako. And there as well. But yeah, I mean, it's as good, probably his best opportunity to win the title. But Sean Strickland's one of those guys that you can't underestimate, because as soon as you do, then he'll hit you in the face. Okay, I'm looking through again. Yeah, I'm on it, Grant, but it isn't there by the looks of it. I've got the recent pictures from everyone else, but the last message I've got on there is "smells great" from someone. I want a World Club Championship title, a match between Super League versus European Rugby Championship. Says Happy Face Man. And the chat as well, I should mention, just around the corner, ladies and gents, from the second half of this contest getting underway. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty of action next week that will be taking place, including, but is not limited to, the two games taking place for the South African sides. The Stormers, they will be going head-to-head with Stade Francais. And then the other game, Sale Sharks, they will be going head-to-head with La Rochelle. And then the Bulls, we are also going to be covering their game when they go head-to-head with Bordeaux, which is an absolutely crucial one when it does end up taking place. We'll go like this. We'll go like this as well. But 7 points difference between these two sides. I feel like that's not really enough of a lead here for the Stormers. They were looking comfortable up until that last try did end up being scored of the Sale Sharks. And of course, Augustin Crevier's had a phenomenal game so far. His lineouts have been pretty accurate. I think only one has been stolen so far. We will go like this. And we will go like that. There we go. Right, second half just around the corner. The crowd are ready and waiting for their Stormers side to make their way back out onto the field. Decent turnout in Cape Town for this contest. Hopefully, we get a fast-paced second half. That is one problem that we may have, as both sides might go into their shell a little bit, not want to risk everything. And come on, the Stormers, says Happy Face Man. And there as well. But now the Stormers making their way out of the tunnel. Dion Ferrer looks, I don't know. He looked a little bit under the energy that we normally see from them. To be honest, we've hardly seen him in this contest. The recent UFC segment on Dracus Duplessis gave me chills. Only 7 sleeps to go. Says, yeah, it's very close. I mean, to be fair, some pretty decent fights taking place this weekend as well. Like, if you love your, I guess, your UFC, not just like the main big guys, like there's some good fights on the card today. Like Ricky Simone versus Mario Batista, I should say. Could be a very good one. You've got Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker, the rematch of the one that happened in Abu Dhabi when Johnny Walker wasn't able to answer where he was in the world. He said the desert, and then the doctor was like, no, you can't continue, mate. But also on the prelims, Josh Van. Watch out for him because he had an absolute slugfest at UFC 295 and could have another one. There we go. There's my UFC little bit of knowledge for you, Sean. But it's kicked off now by Mani Libok. The second half underway, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely taken there by the Sale Sharks, just inside. In fact, just outside, sorry, of their 22 with Sam Bedlow. Now going to the right-hand side. It's going to be very important that they don't make any early errors because we've already seen one try scored from a mistake. It was the one that they tried to kick him behind. It did end up going straight into the hands of Hudson-Berg. It was too quick. Good morning, go the Stormers, says Simran there. Welcome in. You are doing extremely well. Beautifully taken by Damien Valimza. He's almost right through. You may have just given them a little bit of luck, Simran, because they are 10 metres out from the try line now. Offside 14 blue advantage for the Stormers. Mani Libok with the cross kick. Beautifully taken by Lillian Zassi. Just had to get back to his feet. Now Hudson-Berg. Another offload to Dion Fourie. Go the Stormers, says Lionel. And the chat as well. Now loose ball. Advantage is over. And now the ball is loose once more. Diamani, great pickup from the big man. Scored the first try of the contest, and I wouldn't be surprised if he scores the last at the moment. For me, definitely sitting up there as a man of the match contender alongside Mani Libok. Oh, there is the no advantage. In fact, they are going right back to the original advantage, which I'm sure the referee said advantage over. But they will go right back, and the Stormers will be going right back to the corner where they look to get the try. Glad to be of help, says Simran there. Yeah, one try away from the bonus point for the Stormers to win. Tell you what, hay fever sucks. It was a quick sneeze as well. I didn't even have time to react. That one moment. I'm going to sneeze again, so I'll mute myself this time. We are good, ladies and gents. I'm tipping the Stormers to win the cup. Says Happy Face Man, is that the URC or the Champions Cup? Because they've probably got a decent chance of winning both. To be honest, if they can get it right throughout the rest of the season. And the Sharks like the Stormers, says Alicia there. And the Boxer on a roll, says Happy Face Man, prefer the Stormers to win. Says Cool Story, bro. But now the rolling maul for the Stormers. They are sitting at the back. Dion Fourie has the ball in hand. And bless you and Gesundheit. Says Simran there. And ULC. Or the URC, says Happy Face Man. It still wants to make Bricks proud. Says Cool Story, bro. The Sale Sharks have actually managed to turn that ball over again. So that is about the third time that the Stormers have opted to go for the line out, just out from the try line, but haven't been able to convert it into the 7 points. And that'll start to get frustrating. But for now, hasn't cost them too much. They are still just out from the Sale Sharks line, although Sale Sharks are in possession currently. Now Gus Wah. Gonna put this ball up. Kick him behind. And the Stormers thought about taking it quickly, but Damien Valimza decides against it in the end. Satoli did not look like he was interested. Mani Libok. Oh. Okay, Gus Wah is yelling at the moment. Who's he yelling at? He's the one who kicked the ball. I feel like he was just having a bit of a mental breakdown out there on the field. I think he was trying to say that they weren't doing enough to get the ball, but like they got the turnover. If he doesn't want the Stormers to be hot on attack, kick the ball further, mate. Now, oh, what's happened there? The boots come off. I don't know what's happened there. Andre Hugo Fenta was actually running towards the ball. His boot dug into the ground. He still kept going, and he almost still managed to catch the ball. Diamani now. Wrestled down again. Now, Yankees across to Sitoli. Go work in the breakdown, though. Almost stolen by the Sale Sharks. Now, Herschel Yankees goes for the little chip in behind. Bit of a cheeky play. Vienu does very well to be able to take that mark. And that will relieve some of the pressure that is still being created by the Stormers side. They are dangerous on attack. So are the Sale Sharks. And they are currently one try away from getting back into this contest. Crusaders the best club side, in my opinion. Says Happy Face Man. I mean, they will be taking on Munster, though, the winners of the URC, so that will tell us a little bit. But, of course, pre-season and also game taking place in the Northern Hemisphere might impact it a little bit. That sounds like excuses. That's just one of those things that could impact it. But, yeah, it will be interesting. See how that game goes. One moment. I'm about to sneeze again. We are good. But Luke Cowan-Dickey now making his way onto the field. That is poor Augustine Crevi, so a big sub to make early. You'd have to assume that that is due to some sort of injury along those lines. And Maria's got the middle finger. She does not like hay fever, I can tell you that. Appreciate the support, Marie. We are there was thinking the same thing. Never been a club side like them. Says Cool Story, bro. And also Stormers 31 to the Sharks 21. Says Julian. Now line out throw the Stormers will have the ball. and Andre Hufinta wants this one straight. Munster is off form at the moment, so Crusaders should take it, says Mimini, although those could be the evening factors of the home field advantage type thing. It also depends on what side both teams put out, whether they consider it a preseason or whether they play it like it's a test match and put out their best team. Now Lillian Zuss goes forward. Sale Sharks looking for the turnover in the breakdown, not quite able to get it. And Stormers 36, Sharks 22. Says Happy Face Man for his prediction. Now Herschel Yankees goes across to Marnie Libok, tried to round the back pass, but it doesn't work out. And in fact, it's set up for Aaron Reid on the halfway line for the Sale Sharks. Now back across to the left. It's a little bit shaky there from Sale. They've tried the kick downfield and it really hasn't helped them out. Instead, just giving the ball straight back to the Stormers. I want another try for the Sharkies. They're only 7 points behind. Says Ruth. That is another penalty to the Sale Sharks. Scott Curry going to get in the face. Are you going to watch the Cheetahs game tomorrow, lad? Says, I was here. I would, but they sadly don't actually show it in New Zealand for the Challenge Cup games, which is a massive shame because there are a few South African sides in the Challenge Cup that I would have liked to see, so the Cheetahs, Sharks and Lions, but yeah, sadly there isn't actually a way to watch it here in New Zealand that I know of. South Africa to win the Rugby Championship, says Happy Face Man, could be a possibility. At the end of the day, they're in some pretty good form at the moment, world champions. Yeah, just on the ball. I think Marnie Libok was asking for the penalty of some sort. What do they do here? Does Robert de Prea kick this one for the post? He does. I've decided that that will be the better option moving forward rather than taking the risk of going for the corner, being like the Stormers and not getting those points on the ball when they're available. Although this is not an easy kick, 45 metres out for Robert de Prea. Still needs to strike it relatively cleanly. Mills, Kevin Ritchie, Justin, Dan, Tunner, all just so huge rugby legends, says Ruth. Now Robert de Prea. Oh, it's coming round. Tell you what, she's gone over. That was one of the ugliest strikes we have seen. He's smiling about it and going, how'd that curve round? But yeah, started way out to the side, went right round and over the post. Very finely constructed kick. And that now makes the score 21 points to 17. Send you a link, but I wouldn't want you pick up a computer virus. Says I was here. And also we have got there as well. South Africa has won as many World Cups as Tri/Rugby Championships. Says, cool story, bro. I feel like that is one competition. I know that a majority of people would say that the Rugby Championship, in some regards, they feel it doesn't matter as much as the big ones, which of course South Africa have proven time and time again that they are capable of winning. But I think that this year will be a year that South Africa and the Springboks really want to win the Rugby Championship, just to continue that momentum. And, I mean, they'll also want to have a good, of course, July international stint, make sure they're getting a few big wins there. And it was also about getting those young players in as well. Coming around, beautiful cross kick. It's put down, though. Aaron Reid gone straight through his hands like they weren't even there. We should have a World League, says Happy Face Man. They've talked about it before, having like a Club World Cup, although I think the international and also the club schedule is that hectic that they haven't been able to find time to be able to actually play those games if they were going to. I agree the Boks want to follow up with the World Cup win, says Happy Face Man, and also 28-28 final whistle with Stormers all the way, says John. And at the chat as well, but we have got ourselves the first scrum in probably about, I'd say 10-15 minutes worth of play, which is ideal. Jean-Luc Dupre in attendance. Rassi might be coaching for the Rugby Championship. And I hope so. Also, one more World Cups, then Super Rugby wins for the Bulls with 3. Now ball about to go in for Herschel Yankees. Both sides got relatively strong benches as well, I should mention. Although that's gone down. So they will have a reset. What we will do while we are doing that is, I've told you that the benches are strong, might as well show you exactly who is off them. So Wada Kalam, Paul DeVette, they are the 2 Stormers replacement backs. And they've got Tennyson, Kaba, also Evans, Brock Harris-Vermaak and Joseph De Weber. Now, that is somewhere that could be a concern for the Stormers, mainly because the Stormers currently have 100% line-out accuracy. This man, Joseph De Weber, has about 4% line-out accuracy, which sounds harsh, and it is, to be fair. He's got a lot better, but it's still not as accurate as Andre Higo-Fenta. So they don't want to risk having a late line-out. Maybe that's why they've gone for the corner so often, because they feel this is the time that they can actually get them right. Penalty this time goes the way of the Stormers at the Sale Sharks at scrum time. Are we not good at Super Rugby, says Cool Story Bro? What do you think of Scott Razor-Robinson? I think he's a good coach. I think that for the All Blacks, there's going to need to be some time allowed for him to be able to turn it around, because, don't get me wrong, World Cup final was a lot further than a lot of people saw New Zealand getting, but he's going to have a whole new talent pool. So, yes, they might lose a few games early, and I hope that that doesn't make people straight away go, oh, get rid of him, because who else you got? You don't really have too many options. You can't get Ian back. I mean, they could, but it costs them a lot. And they can't end on 28-28, says Mimania, and all the Stormers, says Martin there. Can they not get to 28-28? I feel like they could. If Sale get 2 penalties and a non-successfully converted try, and then Stormers get a converted try, they can be 28-28. And now, Lilian Zas breaks the line. Stormers off to Diamani. Where isn't that man? Passes back on the inside to Zas. And that will be the bonus point try now for the Stormers. The celebrations are definitely taking place in Cape Town currently. And they've just shown in the second half. Once again, even when they don't look like they've got a chance to be able to score, it just takes one face. And that's the difference. And my spelling is so bad tonight. I did tired, worked all day. And Zas says Mamilia. And yeah, the Stormers says Appy. Thanks, man. But beautifully done. Going to the short side. Lilian Zas through to Diamani. There are 3 men at the moment who are real man of the match contenders. Diamani is easily 1. Lilian Zas is easily 2. And then you've got Mani Libok if you can't decide between the other 2. But only if you can't decide between one of those 2, because they have definitely brought their A game here. The kick is over. 28 points to 17. Proudly Stormers. What a fantastic side. Says John and the clapping from Lionel. Sale Sharks are playing well, says Alicia. Yeah, they're a good side, Sale Sharks. And I feel like it's one of those ones that the scoreline, it could get ugly here. We could see 2 or 3 more tries for the Stormers, but we need to remember the Sale Sharks, they're still performing above what a lot of people expected. You know, they only lost to Leinster by 10 points. They had some very close other games of their Champions Cup campaign. They've just been on the wrong side of a lot of results as of late. We look at their 38-24 and someone seems tired. Says Simran, that is correct, yes. I've been up for quite a few, well, no, not quite a few hours, quite a few early hours, I guess you could say. Don't mess with the box. And also, I take Hudsonberg over Zas at the moment for man of the match, says Mimania. It's a good shout as well. Hudsonberg's probably in that top 5. If Andre Higo-Fenta scores a try, you'd almost say that he could be in those top 5 for the contenders as well for man of the match. But currently on the halfway line, Sale Sharks, they know now and they need a few more tries to get back into this contest. 2 converted would give them the lead. Even 1 converted and 1 not would give them a 1-point buffer. Kicked up high from Thomas. Now knocked on there from Mani Libok. I think it might have been knocked by the Sale Sharks in the next motion. Oh. A little bit of push and shove here. Once again taking place. And that is frustration from both sides. We have got there hope Andre Higo-Fenta becomes a Springbok. Says Herman, and Stormers must be careful with this team. Another try for them. Then there is trouble. Okay, there's still push and shove happening. Dion Foree. He just doesn't look himself at the moment, I'll be honest. He looks like he's half out on his feet. Is he saying he got bitten? Is that what he was saying? And Diamani, says Herman. Yeah, Diamani's got to be there somewhere in the near future, I'd say. With his current form, it's very hard to argue. And here's a bold statement. Let's see what happens when I say this one. I would take Diamani over Evan Ruiz at the moment. Let's see what that does. I feel like that's one of those ones that some people might get very angry at, but I think it's a good call at the moment. And shame, man. Dion is 55 years old, says Mimania. South African teams don't really know how to pull away. Says, good story, bro. It depends on who they're playing. Sometimes it's just more of a credit to the opposition for still keeping close. And some of these more one-sided ones, I agree with you. Says John. I'm glad that at least one person did it. Good call, Ruiz on and off. That is going to be a penalty now to the Stormers at scrum time. Trying to fire up Johnny Hill a little bit. Damien Valimza getting into his face. They're saying quite a bit of back and forth between these teams. You can feel the tension at the moment. Your opinion is valid. Ruiz not where he was 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but I think his discipline as well is something that will hurt him in the long run. I mean, we saw that one, I think it was last year, that the opposition scored and then Evan Ruiz just came flying in, cleaned him up, got a yellow card. My voice is going. Yellow card for it. But I just think he's too hot-headed at the moment. And maybe that comes with being a young guy. He's pretty big, so he's like, yeah, I can throw my weight around. No one's gonna stop me. So, but yeah, Diamani, I think, has just been the quiet, I mean, almost I was going to say the golden boy because of his haircut, but like he just works away, doesn't he? And he's got fantastic running when in space. And agree about Diamani, says Leben. And now a nice word from Damien Valimza. Moving forward just a little bit further. For the Stormers, I think that's Marcel Tennyson. And another advantage, this time for offside, against the Sale Sharks. Mani Libok. Nice stepping from Warakalant. Gets it off to Valimza. Taken down and they will go back for the original penalty in favour of the Stormers. When New Zealand sides pull away, they pull away. I suppose because they're a backline. They are a backline attacking team, says Cool Story Bro. Although it also depends on your opposition as well. We've got to remember, like, some of these South African sides have had, like, 40-point victories, 30-point victories. Like, it's just the fact that a lot of the premiership sides actually seem to finish matches better than they start them. I don't know whether that's because they get the feel for the game or just takes them that little bit to adjust to the different style, because, don't get me wrong, like, they haven't been facing what they're facing here. The Stormers are a well-oiled machine when it comes to their running game, as well as that physicality that they bring in the breakdown. They're actually going to take the 3 points here, the Stormers, so that would give them a 14-point lead if this kick does end up going over. 4 from 4 at the moment for Mani Libok. He has been perfect today, but that doesn't mean that can't change. At the end of the day, it only takes one wonky kick to kill a man's confidence. Mani Libok at the moment playing like a very confident individual. Can he get this one? I feel like I've just jinxed him with that hype up that I just gave him. But 23 minutes remaining. And that's what I'd say New Zealand have fair balance of forward dominance and backline attack, says Mimini. And also good evening all, says Flesh and welcome in, mate. Now Mani Libok. Yeah, let's go. That's hit the post. I jinxed him. It's going to be coming out. So the score difference at the moment between these two sides is still 11 points. Sale Sharks having to try and force that one out. I think it's hit Alistair Vermaak. Dion Free will always be a great rugby player, such a gentleman on and off the field, says John. Yeah, it's kind of been weird, this game for Dion Free. I don't know what it is, but normally in these kind of physical, gritty, grindy games, he's normally forefront, but we just haven't really seen a lot of him, to be honest. And I don't know why that is, but same a little bit with Ben Jason Dixon. I feel like, to be honest, Diamani's just dominated the loose forwards for the Stormers. He's been everywhere. He's been running the ball down the wing. He's been running the ball around the breakdown. That time, it's going to be slapped back again here for the Stormers. Nicely cleaned up. They got it available again. Good evening, Hamish and everyone. Been a while. Hope the Stormers steal the deal tonight. Here in a hot Cape Town. Says Denzel. Oh, Damien Valimza. Pressure on him in the breakdown. Still on the side of the home side. Marnie Libok. Oh, he's taken a bit of a dive there, although he was hit late. Vienu finding the offload away for the Sale Sharks. Hurricanes are brilliant. New Zealand side. The Stormers run for their money. Cheers, happy face man. Rolling back again. Been told to use it once more. Put high from the youngster Thomas. And once again, it's been a bit rough under the high ball for both sides. I would still say the advantage has gone to the Stormers when it comes to taking the high ball, but most times that we have had a high ball up, at least one side has knocked it on. Amani Libok, he got out a little bit late there, did do the big flail of the arms afterwards. And New Zealand do play the dream type of rugby, so everyone will pull you into the swamp, which is fine. Says cool story, bro. Yeah, it's just different styles, isn't it? But they're all entertaining to watch. Like I always say, I watch the URC, I watch Super Rugby, watch some of the top 14, the Gallagher Premiership. Depending on where you are in the world, the Japanese top league, you just get a different style of play. But depending on what type of rugby you like, you can actually find a competition that suits what you enjoy watching. You know, if you like a more kicking-orientated game, the top 14 is perfect. If you like that kind of slower, more methodical breakdown of sides, that's the kind of comp for you. If you like fast-paced running rugby, a lot of people would pick Super Rugby as the option. Or if you want to see high-scoring games, the Japanese top league, you're normally going to see at least maybe 70 points, if not more, in a contest. And then I feel like the URC has actually a really good balance of physical forwards who play a very strong game. You know, you look at someone like Glasgow with their forward pack and the way that they play, and then, you know, you've got the running backs as well. Variety is good, bruh. Says cool story, bro. Now, big scrum from the Stormers. There has been no variety at scrum time. It's just been Stormers penalty after penalty. That's a knock-on, unfortunately, from Watakalent. Man, he's under a lot of pressure. I mean, he's really fighting for a spot on the side at the moment, even the 23, because the players who aren't there at the moment. Now, I should mention, some due to injury, but in this backline for the Stormers, there is no Clayton Blumekes, there is no Ben Loader, no Ruanel. At the moment of current form, I'd probably pick all three ahead of Watakalent, but a couple of them not available, so it means that Watakalent still has that opportunity, and also positionally, I guess Watakalent makes that little bit more sense. New Zealand still the ultimate team to play against. Says John and Lomu best ever. Says cool story, bro. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was cool story, bro. Now Money Libok from 40 metres out. He will be lining up this kick. Did miss the last one, so I'm going to try my best not to jinx him this time. And Auckland Blues, a good attacking team. Says happy face man. Now Money, he sits 4 from 5. Well, not too badly. I think that lady is trying to get the whole crowd to shush so that Marnie Libok has pure silence. If anything, a lot of people have just started cheering louder since they saw her telling them to shush. Now Marnie Libok, we see Dion Forey in the background. I think the heat's got to Dion Forey or something. Or he might have taken a knock in that first half, because he just doesn't look there, if that makes sense. That kick from Marnie Libok, no mistakes this time. Makes the score 31 points to 17. Did you hear the Renegades beat the Stars last night? Melbourne is red. Says try tone down under. I did hear that, yeah. Melbourne Stars struggling this year. Marnie Libok not struggling in this game. So now 5 from 6. With only 18 minutes remaining. Sale Sharks, if they get 2 more tries, they still will walk away with at least 1 bonus point from this game. There we go. Dion Forey just been taken off the field. That is for Nabakaba. And also Andre Hugo Fenta off the field for Joseph Dueba. So they decided to make those 2 changes. Nabakaba, looking forward to seeing. Here's another big man in the 4 back that can have a real impact. Already good attack and run from Dion Fourie. In fact, sorry, not from Dion Fourie, from Damien Valimza. And Libok is the Bok. Says Brunito. And also New Zealand versus South Africa in 2024. Can't wait to see how the All Blacks do against the Bok. Says Happy Face Man. Now rolling it back. Herschel Yankees. Ready to put this ball high. I've got plenty of time up their sleeve as well here. For the Stormers, Vienu looking for the offload, quick hands, and that's actually caused Lally and Zus to rush up, which gives space. Joseph Dweba, good tackle made early from him. Since just making his way onto the field. Back across to the left-hand side, loose again here for Sale Sharks. Unfortunately, that has been a bit of a trend here in the way that their backline has been functioning. One more try for the Stormers. I'll never get the moment. I came to see just heartbreaking and respect, says John. Now, nice step from the young halfback. They're actually going to go back for the original penalty advantage, which was in favour of the Sale Sharks. I should mention 2 converted tries will not only get the Sale Sharks a bonus point, but it would also tie this game. 31 each. As Ali Vermaak he is. He did actually manage a charge down earlier on. He did pretty well, although it was an accidental charge down. He was just kind of in the way of the ball, but it worked for him. And Stormers. And also Rassi versus Razor. Who's the better coach? It's a very hard one to say because, of course, you could base it off what we've seen. You could say Rassi's got World Cups. You could say Razor's got Super Rugby titles. But because we haven't seen both of them coaching each other's teams, or we haven't seen them coach too many other teams, it makes it very hard to determine because sometimes a great coach is only as great as the players. You know, like Crusaders-wise, they've always been stacked with talent. Springboks-wise, they've always been stacked. So it makes it very hard to compare them because they're 2 very good coaches, don't get me wrong, but they haven't had the same path. So it's kind of like comparing a prop and a fly half. You're not quite going to get the same comparisons. Yes, they both play rugby, but they don't both do the same thing. And good evening. When does the tickets for the Springboks versus All Blacks go on sale, says Jason. I'm sure that as soon as they do, they're going to sell quick, so we'll have to try and work that out because is it in South Africa or in New Zealand this year? Or is it 1-on-1? It might be 1-on-1. Beautiful work from Mani Libok. Showing off the step in there, does the chip and chase. And once again, the pace battle is won by the Stormers. What a collapse. Oh, he's knocked it on. He's celebrating, but he knocked it on, I believe. I thought he knocked it on. He thinks he's got it. Did he not knock it on? It's called as a try. I thought he knocked it on. We're going to see a replay. I assume maybe it was a Sale Sharks man who knocked it back. Yeah, that's a knock on. Isn't it? Yeah. I'm not sure why he's convinced because he's knocked it on clear as day twice. But I'm glad he was having fun. The second test is in Cape Town, says Jason. Yeah, they're going to be having a look at this one. Although we've got a stoppage. Why is... Yeah, off Watercalant. So it will be a knock on. I didn't think I was going crazy. Because I saw him knock it on and then he was celebrating. And I got very confused. Thanks for your commentary, mate. Are you awesome? Like the way you interact with the spectators? Says John, I've said it since the very beginning. Like, these live streams are always so much more fun because we get the chance to talk to you guys who are all around the world. Whether you're in South Africa watching this game, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, wherever you are. It's pretty awesome that we're able to bring everyone to the same location, if that makes sense. We have got there, Bubba. The X is a click in the top left of your mouth, says Bruce. I know, I just can't do it, unfortunately. Like, I haven't quite trained I think it's Scorsa, isn't it? I dare you to try it, says Bruce. I just can't get it. Like, I'm better off going nubber, clubber. I can't get it. My tongue don't go the right way. I can roll my R's. I can't quite click at this stage. It seems we're going to my 38-24, says Safui. It looks like there is another change being made. Home is where the scrum is. Says cool story, bro. Oh, hang on. This is the change of the number 21. That's still was too strong for the Sharks. Says happy face man, I should say. And thanks, Hamish. I'm going to have to get an early night. Great commentary, Kiwi lads. I'm working tomorrow, go the Sharkies. So have fun at roof. Sorry, have fun at work, roof. Hopefully it does fly by for you. Now scrum feed again. Just out. I think that was actually Aaron Reid who made his way from the field. Hello from Fishhook and Cape Town. Good to follow the game with you, says Brian. Welcome in, mate. Oh, big push from the Stormers. Their front row's popped up, though. So they will have another reset, but that is just another warning for the Sale Sharks of how strong these South African scrums are. We saw it earlier on with the Bristol Bears versus Bulls game. The Bulls were just slaughtering the Bears. I forgot about you after the Rugby World Cup, says I'm Nutty. You're not the only one. I think we've gone down about 1,000 subscribers since the World Cup. Luckily, we've gained a few along the way because we've still been doing a few games. But yeah, a lot of people pretty much after the World Cup went, nah, unsubscribe. See you later, mate. See you in 4 years. Hope all good. Says I'm Nutty and cheers, Miminia, Scrumless, and David the Mod and the rest. Cheers, Ruth. Now 5 metres out from the line. Their own line, I should have mentioned. New Year's haircut but no shave. Says I'm Nutty. Believe it or not, it was shaved like not too long ago. It grows, unfortunately. It grows a bit faster than the hair on top. Over there, Bruce, I prefer the right side of my mouth. Says Miminia. Number. No, I can't do it. I can make a click noise, but I can't make a click noise while saying his name. Nah. She's not happening yet. I feel like once I can do that name, though, you guys are going to be like, okay, we respect him now. Have a good day, Ruth. Or good night, Ruth. Great day of work tomorrow. Now 13 minutes remaining. Another line out here. Only the Stormers, they have got themselves that bonus point. Brock Harris to make his way onto the field. That is going to be replacing Nedeling Fouché. I think that's all the subs for the Stormers that I can think of anyway. Paul DeVette also onto the field. Good low tackle made on Dan Duplessis by Robert Duprea. Do you know who Paulie Shaw is? I have no idea who that is. That's kicked in behind and it does go into touch. Very good kick again. And at the moment, the tactic from the Stormers is to force Sale further towards their try line. Now, there are only 2 converted tries in this game. If Sale score soon, they still have a good chance of being able to come back. And the Stormers know that, which is why they want to keep them right out in front of their own line. We have got there, you think Box can beat Australian Kangaroos? Love to see this game, League versus Union. It's been talked about sometimes about whether or not they would consider doing a League Union crossover. The problem you've got, though, is what format do you play? Because the League players are going to be specialists in League. The Union players are going to be specialists in Union. So you probably have to play Rugby League because I would say it's easier to learn how to roll the ball backwards in a breakdown than it is to actually learn how to jackal for the ball in a breakdown for the Rugby League guys. So, yeah, they'd probably have to play Rugby League. Now kick downfield. Once again, the Sale Sharks' only option is to just clear their lines. Stormers are doing this very well. Joseph De Weber now, can he get his line out throw right? I mentioned that he has actually drastically improved this year compared to last. And even last year he improved compared to the year prior. He used to have about 2% line out accuracy. But it's looking better now, yeah. Hamish is at an interesting age where I wonder what he grew up with. I know he had VHS. Yeah, I'm kind of in that middle, aren't I? Because I count as a 1990s baby. Even though I was born only like 28 days away from the 2000s. So I sneak into the older category, which is quite cool. More aged experience on the planet. Nice wide pass. Dan Duplessis thought about the offload. Been able to shut him down pretty well, but he's still been making meters. Brock Harris driven backwards there. Good pressure being put on by the Sale Sharks in the breakdown by Paul DeVette. Has to try and sneak underneath. to put off the X and Abba, try sucking spit, the back part of your tongue, the molar section. Oh, what a run. This is going to be for the Sale Sharks, and they are up to the 22. Oh, it's going to be Diamani who steals it. He's been everywhere today, and he's just saved another try. Also, we have got there, are you so old, Simran? No, but I don't know where my tongue should be. No, but that's not it. That was just me sounding like a vacuum. No, but my tongue doesn't feel like it's the right shape. It just... No, that's not it. Oh, well, I'll slowly try and work it out. I feel like if I can one day do it, I'd be very happy. Okay, Diamani, man of the match. He's got to be done. With the way that he's played throughout this contest, he has been brilliant. Scoring the try, saving one at the other end, assisting a try. He's done everything. It's a new advantage, or in fact, they say it goes backwards now. Venu, he's got some pure pace out on the wing, tried to pop it, but this time now Lillian Zus says that, no, he doesn't, he blew it. He's just given the ball back, right, that's his man of the match gone. Lillian Zus, he did all the hard work of intercepting the ball, just to have it stripped straight out of his hands, and Sale to score the try, none other than Sam Bedlow. They're back in the contest. Maybe you should get yourself a Stormers jersey. That Kiwi jersey is not good for the eyes. Says Ari. Oh, it's not a pure Kiwi one. It's a Puma one. So, but yeah, it's pretty plain, the shirt I got on, isn't it? Maybe I need to mix it up a little bit. Yes, sir. It says good story, bro. It's quite hard to find Stormers kits in New Zealand though, or even any South African sides. To be fair. But now, Sale Sharks. If this conversion goes over, they would be sitting with 1 bonus point for being within 7, and they'd have a chance of getting another bonus point if they score another try after that. But this kick from Robert Dupre, it is so important, which is a lot of pressure. Those posts, though, they look pretty big. He's hit one of them. That's how big it was, but it's still gone over. So that'll make the score 31-24. Aussie MILF buying now, says Mimania. Is that Kylie Minogue? Is that who you're talking about? I see Scrumley's put that. She's Australian, isn't she? I think. Who else is from Australia? Quite a few people who've got quite a big population. Now, final moments of the game. 7.5 minutes remaining and 1 try difference. The Stormers need another try to secure this. The Sharks, if they score 1 more, oh, that's a big change. Dupre's been taken off for Curtis. I'm going to have to disagree with that change. Robert Dupre has kicked 100% so far. To bring on someone else to possibly have to line up the most important kick of the Sale Sharks Champions Cup campaign seems like a silly choice. If there was an injury, fair enough, but I think it was just because they wanted to give Curtis some minutes. Now lining up the kick again. Thomas rolls it back. Puts it high. Nicely taken by Watakalant. Shut down early on the halfway line. Vermaak knocks the ball on. It's a double knock on, in fact. So now Sale Sharks, another chance for them to be able to try and get the chance. It looks like Diamani and Vermaak just having a bit of a chat there. I think Vermaak was trying to say maybe it was too far out in front of him. Maybe Diamani said something saying maybe that was my pass, mate, and you took it from me. 6 minutes remaining. The medics have been told to get off the field. Some deep breaths though. They're just showing Diamani some of the skill that he has shown throughout this game. That was the one that was almost a try. Rather than going himself, he decided to pass it to his teammate. Kylie was the scientist that deep-throated the carrot. Said it was the lowest point of her career. Why did she deep-throat a carrot? What's sign? Well, I guess there's some science behind it. That's going to be the penalty to the Stormers. But that's a good one for Brock Harris to be winning, because that has changed the momentum which had been taken back by Sale Sharks. Scrum time, though, they have not been up to par. And that is something that the Stormers have really been able to excel in for this contest, rather than the Sale Sharks who are just penalty after penalty. In that case, Marnie Libok almost missed touch. Kylie and Danny were the Gen X's dream back then. Says Mimania. Yeah, big scrum pressure from Brock Harris. And now 20 metres out from the line here. Can they get the rolling maul try? Currently, the Stormers still sit with a -1 points differential in the Champions Cup competition. They also want to extend their lead by more than 7 so that they can stop the Sale Sharks from getting a bonus point in this contest. Look at that, and this game got close while I've been thinking about Paulie and Kylie. Says, cool story, bro. Got run for from the Abba. Abba? Is that how you say it? Abba? Abba? No. I thought I had it for a second there. Abba? Ooh. Nah, probably not quite right, but we'll take it. Now Damien Valimza. Across to Marcel Tennyson. Go well. Now Diamani. To Connor Evans. They might even consider a drop kick here soon, perhaps. Or a penalty. Penalty would also work for them. 22 metres out. Oh, for Mark's hands. They're made of jelly because that one slipped right through it as well. That is 2 knock-ons from the big man within the last 2 minutes. Although the penalties, they seem to be winning them at scrum time, so maybe it's strategic. But Diamani, 11 defenders beaten throughout this game. Valimza has beaten 6. Venu has beaten 4. That's correct, says Andre. I just say, when you pronounce it, not right, close, says Mabania. Just showing again, Diamani, the amount of work he has done throughout this game. He's been absolutely everywhere. He saved tries, he's got tries, he's assisted tries. Now, he's got 3 minutes to try and get some form of points on the board for his team once more to cut out that bonus point. But the Sale Sharks have got themselves a scrum feed. They need to get this ball in and out of the scrum as quickly as physically possible. They cannot afford to try and win the penalty, because the only penalties being won is by the opposition, the Stormers. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Thomas about to feed the ball into the scrum. Like I said, quick and efficient is what they need to go for. That ball's stuck again. Oh, that was a good hook though. Managed to get it back out. Now going for the backline movement. Knock on this time from the Sale Sharks. Cleaned up by Paul DeVette. Now they can use up a few more phases. Abba. It's just not good. But we're close. Oh, it's just gone out. 1 metre from the line. And now the Sale Sharks. Viendu thought about going quickly. He will not. They 100% agree with you, says Denzel. Now 5 metres. Sale Sharks have to go 95 metres. Let's cross the line. They've gone to the front. Nice set play. Luke Cowan Dickey, though, does not have a lot of space to be able to work with. Sale Sharks do not have a lot of time to be able to get this converted try that they are after. Oh, they're rolling it back. I think they're considering a kick here. I don't know if it's the right choice. Oh, he's panicked. He didn't know what to do there, Thomas. So he kicks it downfield. Now Stormers, they've got the counter-attacking opportunity. Lillian Zuss, quick hands to Waterkalant, who fires it back. 40 out. Can the Sale Sharks discipline hold up, though? That is the bigger question here. because they have to make sure that they don't concede for 50 seconds. Mani Libok tries the cross kick. It's taken by the Sale Sharks. Now foot race. Kicked in behind. 40 seconds remaining. Mani Libok is back there. He's running low on space. He decides to run it himself. Goes for the chip and chase. All that time he's probably been taken out. Yes, he has. And it will be a penalty right up to where he kicked the ball to. That now means that they have the opportunity to extend the lead. Just one lapse of judgment from the Sale Sharks. Yeah, he's clearly taken him out. Mani Libok, he's been trying to get that penalty all day and he finally receives it. And it might have been the most crucial time that he has received it. And yeah, for real, says I was there for him. Cool story, bro. There you go, says Bruce. And I was going to have as you did it. Says Den's also taking the player out. Mani Libok will be going for the 3 points. Now, the only way that this game doesn't end is if this ball doesn't go into touch and doesn't go over the post. So if he hits a post and it comes back out, we are still playing, ladies and gents. But if it doesn't, then we continue. And Leka Libok says Andre there. But this is the chance to take away the losing bonus point of the Sharks. Mani Libok, he has done it time and time again, nailing the late kick. Normally it is to win a game. This is just to win the game by a little bit more. Sam Bedlow actually ended up with a yellow card for taking the player out. Get and talk to the coach. Right, Mani Libok. If he hits the post, this game continues. If he misses or he gets it over, that will be the end of the game and the Stormers will be victorious in Cape Town. Here we go, Mani Libok gets that natural little bit of right to left. Has to make sure he does not connect with one of these two posts. We've already seen a few posts hit today as well, I should mention. Can he get it? Mani Libok. It's gone away to the side. He's missed. And the game continues, ladies and gents. Only 1 metre from their line, though, the Sale Sharks. Counter ruck coming from the Stormers. And come on, says Horse Vlogs, Gaming Vlogs, and miss, says DJ. And I was thinking that I don't miss. Right, they're 1 metre out. Sale Sharks have no option but to try and kick this one downfield. They don't do it. They take the contact. At the end of the day, they will still receive that bonus point, which is more than they would have got if Mani had kicked that one over. So they will take that. They had to go 105 metres to be able to make it a draw. So they will take the point. But 31 points to 24, the win for the Stormers. They're starting to find a little bit of momentum at the moment. Looking through at their past games, that's Sale. Looking through at their past games. Ever since this game where they snuck it against La Rochelle. Victory after victory after victory. And this one is no different. Another win for the Stormers. Under their belt, they will be going on to face Stade Francais next week, which would be considered as one of the easier games of their Champions Cup campaign, although it will be played in France and they cannot underestimate the ability of some of these French sides. Definitely not on home soil, but that is a fantastic win for the Stormers. They walk away with 5 points. They will move up to second on the Champions Cup table, just behind, I believe it is currently, if I am correct, one moment, we'll go like this. They will move just behind. In fact, they will move behind both of these sides. They are actually going to be here now. They go ahead of Sale, but they will be third in the overall Champions Cup Pool 4. We have got there, don't jinx them, says Simran, and thanks for the game, says Andre, no worries at all. It has been hugely appreciated, you all being here for these games. We are going to be back next week as well with more of the action. Stade Francais versus the Stormers. We are covering the Bulls versus Bordeaux, which is a massive, massive game for both of these sides. Thanks for the stream, Hamish. Says Scrumley, it's a nice meet with you all, says Mimania. And there's thanks, guys, says cool story, bro. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like I said, plenty more rugby action coming. We've also got cricket coming up throughout the middle of the week. A few South African tests coming in the early February. Six Nations, Super Rugby, Champions Cup, URC, you name it. We'll be here alongside some sevens action as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.